ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the island right over here.
They're already making fun. Remember when our name was they confused the CONVO couch with the casting couch?
Oh, nobody confused that, fam. That was in your own mind. Stop.
No.
Take a look at the island. Now our mics are on.
This is new. This is new footage.
This is new footage of Jeffrey Epstein's island, ladies
July
and gentlemen.
2019. July 3rd, 2019.
This is like last week.
Like 10 days ago.
You got that good music playing, huh?
Yeah, I love this. I love this fucking music.
You like this movie like people like in a horror film. It's creepy.
Yeah, and this could be a horror film. Absolutely.
This is a horror film.
Yeah.
This is a real horror film.
So we get a lot closer look. They get pretty damn close in this new footage. They just dive right into the island.
Now, I think the point of us showing what's going on the island, too, listen, we don't want to let go of what's really happening on over there. We can't dismiss everything. But
look at this, look at this.
The symbolism of this stuff. Now, watch what he does. Everybody's like, what the hell is this thing?
What is that?
Take a look, fam.
A sundial? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's a sundial, but
yeah.
With weird-ass kind of markings.
Little seashells, conch shells. Why are the 1, 2, 3 so close?
They're just giving quote-unquote conspiracy theorists more fodder by having an island like this. I mean, really, like...
I mean,
it's really strange.
I mean, if I was rich and shit, maybe I'd have a sundial.
Really?
In my backyard, you know.
With weird symbolic
I'd have some
crap and a
I'd
temple.
have some ink and shit since we're Peruvian, you know.
Some weird temple though. That temple looks like.
No, that temple. We get a closer look at the temple.
Someone said that it looked like an Israeli temple.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is that when I watched a video the other day with somebody back in Israel, it was kind of like almost identical.
Okay,
and we'll get into it.
We have no idea what the hell this thing is.
Those are aliens. They're talking to aliens.
Look, I think that's just like a grass cutter, you know?
No.
Tracks.
It's not. Nobody mows in circles.
Yeah, this.
It gets creepy.
Like, I don't know what goes on in that. There must have been like, maybe that was for like presentations or something, you know?
But wouldn't you want an elevated stage rather than? I guess it could be like a coliseum.
It kind of keeps the sound in, maybe. Yeah.
What?
It's a pretty island.
The demons.
The demons. I mean, well, God, this is. I hate. This has been like kind of unsettling looking into this stuff because it's like you hear all these things and these conspiracy theories and you look into them and you're like, oh my God, you don't want to go near there. But then you start looking at this symbolism and this shit that's going on, and you're like, what the hell? If it's capable, if the man's bringing in 14-year-old girls and on a regular basis and
saying, oh, bring me a younger one, that one's too old.
I mean, everything about this island is just creepy, weird, and unexplainable.
You see that little E down there? Maybe that's where Epstein sits or something. I don't know.
Hashtag white people and the crazy things they do.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
they were saying that the dome fell off with the hurricane, along with there was 2 sculptures up there, and then you can kind of see in there. You can kind of see in there.
Well, the whole thing is that I mean, he's gonna get rid of everything right away. But look.
Yeah, he's been deconstructing shit.
Everything.
Look, you can see the ladder in there.
People don't understand that the Lolita Express has been sold.
Yeah, how? So they can't even use that because he sold it?
Sold it.
That, to me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Can't you just...
He sold it before he got rid... Listen, he got the jump that they were coming to grab him. And when that happened, he started scrambling. He started getting rid of everything. The whole thing that's really interesting about this case, and we'll get into it, I'm going to point out a couple other things, is that, like I said, this is deeper. This is deeper than just one guy. This is a network, and they have to be revealed. They have to come to light. They have to be punished. It's not that we want justice, so we have to bring out the whole system. We'll never be free of anything until we expose these guys. Now, once we're done with this, I'll explain some stuff to you that will really make you think, because somebody in Florida, one of my connections in Florida, told me something. Pasta, think about it. What he offered up for bail.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous amount of money.
But there's something more to it then, and I'm going to explain that to you.
Like, who could ever afford that except
some guy who's monetarily, the whole monetary system which we live in, which a lot of people have a hard time kind of grasping their head around. They think, oh, money is God. Well, money is this thing that everybody tries to accumulate. But there are people who create money. There are people who create the money, control the money. It's just paper.
Yeah.
Okay? So
it's not even that anymore.
No, it's not backed in gold. It's a fiat fucking currency.
It's numbers on a computer now.
That monetary system is the key to our slavery. Sorry. Yeah, look, he's just going around this whole thing, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this because we have to connect all these dots.
Yeah, I wonder what the red lettering means. You know, there's some symbolic. I know there's people doing research online trying to find out what these letters
I just don't understand how they could operate in such a secretive way. I mean, you take a poor person that goes to like the forest in the Pacific Northwest, and they'll fine you if you collect your own water. They'll fine you if you don't, if you try to find a sustainable way of living. But this mother effer can go and get on an island and build his own little whatever the hell he's building, an old little tribe and his own little group and his own little stuff, and like nobody like questions it. Nobody says a thing. Well, like, it's just,
I hate to say it, but like somebody sent me a video today, and you have to listen to everything. First of all, I like to say, Mr. Orachi, there's not a 20-year difference between me and Fam. Okay, it's 16 years if you must know. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you how long, but it's not 20. But here's the thing, Fiorella. Somebody sent something today from Ann Coulter, and I'm not a big Ann Coulter person, but Ann Coulter was one speaking about this when nobody was speaking about this, and I remember that because, listen, I lived in South Florida. The Palm Beach Post came to my house when I was younger. Everybody thinks it was the Miami Herald that was breaking stuff before anybody else. No, it was the Palm Beach Post. Oh. They were deep in stuff, okay, because that's where in West Palm Beach things were going on, and Ann Coulter spent a lot of time there, so she also talked about it. The thing that she talks about, and people have to understand this, and nobody understands where this guy's money came from. They can't track it. Okay? So this is a network of people. This is a group of people, and it's so important. And I'm going to stay on this case. Like I said, I have people working on it in Florida. And here's the thing, Fiorella. We're talking about what he offered up for bail. Now, the bail hasn't come through yet today. We're waiting to hear what's going on today. We're waiting to get any updating news. Something might be going on. In fact, Johnny, I would say go over to Google and check and see if anything has come through real quick, because it break at any time, if they grant this guy bail or not. He offered up $77 million in assets, his Manhattan place, his new plane, and whatnot. Do you think this guy has the ability to offer cash up? The $77 million in cash?
Do you think he
has $77 million in cash he can give up for bail?
I don't know. Probably.
Yes, but why hasn't he offered the cash? Why hasn't he put it up? My friend told me, one of my sources, when I was speaking to somebody who was in a jail, and when they go in, there's two things they think about when they get out. Number one, I'm not doing that crime again. I got to stop doing it. Number two, when I get pinched, how do I move things around so when I get out, or when I'm moving on the lam, or what do I got to do where things are at? The people who are protecting him are now moving his cash around. His money is being moved out, is being moved around. He has an exit plan. The only reason why this guy probably isn't killed is probably he has information on politicians. He has information on public figures, on Hollywood stars, up the yin-yang. And as soon as he's dead, he's got instructions for those people to release that in the world. So right now he's in a holding pattern and holding on to this guy going, okay, we can't just whack him, because if we whack him, there's going to be a bunch of guys exposing stuff. Did you find anything?
Yeah, it says that Epstein is willing to post $100 million of bail, piles of cash, dozens of diamonds.
Here it is.
And that was today.
Okay, so now some cash got moved around, some diamonds got pulled to him. Once again, somebody was saying that. They're like, why isn't that, there's cash? And I told my source, I said, listen, he can come up with $100 million cash, put it up, they'll have another $100 million for him waiting somewhere else. He's got unlimited pockets, this guy. And we're talking hundreds, Fiorella, hundreds of children, little girls. Let's connect the dots. Listen, I want to make sure you understand who these people are.
And I just want to say something too. Imagine a poor person, like this wouldn't even get this far. They'd be like in jail for the rest of their lives. And the fact that our system allows a rich person to come in and pay an exorbitant exorbitant amount of money to get out of jail. It's ridiculous. It's not fair. It should be, no, if you've done this, you don't get out on bail, period.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. We shouldn't have different tiers depending on how much you paid. But that's what happens when we have a for-profit jail system, a for-profit criminal justice system that people like Kamala Harris helped put in place.
Yeah.
And
you think about it on that scale, but can you imagine somebody who's protected on high that he can just press buttons and put billions of dollars in his accounts at any time? He can run around doing whatever he wants. We reported on the show the other day. He thought he had a global agreement. A global agreement.
And no, he's friends with both the Clintons and the Trumps.
Well, that's the thing. The disgusting thing about this is when this story broke now, and this story's been going on for a while, this is how tribal we are. They tried to make it everything about Donald Trump right off the gate. So I dove into that stuff from Donald Trump from the get-go, and it's really hard to grab him, to pin him to anything on Epstein before 2002. And the stuff he did do before 2002 was just partying or hanging out, whatnot. I mean, for crying out loud, like Fusion GPS, the fake dossier, they tried to connect Epstein to Trump, and they couldn't even do it. You know what I'm saying? And I say this is more about tribalness and partisan politics. This is about an elite group running around, and now they're preying on the most what's the word I'm looking for? The most vulnerable. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, hit it out of me sometimes. The most vulnerable people in our society, young little girls, broken girls. So let's connect the dots. Jeffrey Epstein's main madam, her name is Ghislaine Maxwell. Fiorella, remember the picture you sent to us? Mm-hmm. Ghislaine Maxwell was at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Okay, there's pictures of Donald Trump and his wife with Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein. That's in 2002, I believe, or way before. I think it's when it happened. But Ghislaine Maxwell has been mentioned as one of the number one madams. Now we have an article, I believe, right as well. What we know about Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's alleged madam. Let me just grab that up real quick because there's some stuff. Johnny, you want to read some stuff? Because I don't have it in front of me. Like maybe just the second paragraph that it kind of explains who she is.
She's a 57-year-old British socialite.
Here it is.
Okay, Maxwell is the daughter of publisher Roger Maxwell. In short, she comes from money. Per the Wall Street Journal, she grew up and attended university in England, then moved to the United States in 1991 after her father fell to his death from his yacht. That's the story, they say. Mm-hmm. The lady, Ghislaine, was the name of the boat. Epstein reportedly used a yacht with the name to transport women from St. Thomas in the Caribbean to his own private island, which locals have nicknamed Pedophile Island.
Pedophile Island.
Okay,
so we know that now that's the number one madam. This woman she's been fingered by many victims. She's been exposed by many people. We know that she's involved in the operation, pretty much. And remember, a lot of this evidence was just bow-tied. It was bow-tied and handed to the freaking commissioner in Palm Beach. But who is her father is the question, right? Now, do I have it in the form? I have it in the doc because somebody put up for me. They said, and I'll read this. Alex Davidson. He said, great job on this, Pasta and Fee. If you want more evidence of the circle of elite psychos being all connected, check out Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Roger Maxwell, a former MP and owner of several British newspapers and the New York Post. He worked in British Army Intel in World War II and allegedly became a Mossad asset after the war. Maxwell died in mysterious circumstances. When he is alleged to have fallen off his yacht in the Atlantic. Immediately after his death, it was revealed that he kept his businesses going by raiding his employees' pension funds. Rumors circulated for years that he was not in fact dead, but he had faked his death to evade potential arrest. His funeral was held within the state honors in Israel. Okay, so now we have Roger Maxwell, father of Ghislaine Maxwell. And there's this picture over here we have. Well, this is Roger Maxwell. Now, this guy had deep connections. Not only was he like a mogul that kind of mirrored Rupert Murdoch, because those are the two people in charge of each other. He ended up buying the New York Post and reopening it. He had the Mirror in Great Britain, but this guy had such high connections. Mm-hmm. In fact, in the 60s, on behalf of the Russian government, he lobbied the British government. He was also an MP in the British Parliament on behalf of their invasion. He argued for Russia on behalf of the invasion Czechoslovakia. So this guy had connections into communist governments. He was also a Mossad asset. In other words, at one time he helped Mossad kidnap a certain scientist that was going to leak secrets about how to build the atom bomb.
Who's Mossad, Pasta?
Mossad is CIA intelligence. And there was so many connections.
Israeli CIA intelligence?
Israeli CIA.
Okay.
The Mossad, they're called. And a lot of people believe, there's been books written by certain authors, and a lot of people believe that the Mossad killed Robert Maxwell because Robert Maxwell was blowing through money in all his businesses. He lived his luxurious life, and he had secrets on the Mossad, and he threatened to expose them unless they gave him money. And they looked at him as someone as a loose cannon. So a lot of people feel that Mossad aborted his yacht and killed him. And there were books written about this, whatnot. There's no doubt that Robert Maxwell had some big, big pockets. Do we have the, where's it at?
You passed it.
Right here. The rents.com. Okay? And it says, oh my Lord, this stuff just goes down the deep hole. I'm going to go down on work. Our work, supported by documents including FBI reports and secret intelligence files from behind the Iron Curtain, shows Maxwell had worked as a secret super spy for the Mossad for 6 years. Okay? I don't want to get deep into this and stuff. I can keep. We'll put the link down below. You can read this. But if you understand who Robert Maxwell is, guess what the name of the yacht was that Robert Maxwell died falling off of?
Ghislaine.
Lady Ghislaine.
Yeah.
Do you know what the name of the yacht that Jeffrey Epstein drove his subjects, his victims, because they flew to another island in St. James.
Said earlier, Lady Ghislaine.
Lady Ghislaine. It's the same name. So there's all this weird kind of symbolism and ties to deep state intelligence people within this group. And like I said, Epstein didn't do this alone. And there's so many weird connections when you start thinking, wow, like Ghislaine introduced, Epstein to all these people. Ghislaine was the one who recruited women. Ghislaine was his madam, and that was Robert Maxwell's daughter. So many things are weird that you have to look into, and you have to say, wow, these elites, these upper classes of people that were surrounded by everybody, it's all the same circle. We talked about it. James Comey's daughter is now on Epstein's defense team. Mueller was the FBI director. All these people of intelligence, they're all connected, fam. That's why I say we have a government within a government.
And you're not going to see this on MSNBC or CNN. They're just going to be like, oh, Trump was seen with Epstein and he flew with him, and Trump did this with Epstein and we need to impeach him. It's like, I'm not against Trump paying for what he's done. But at the end of the day, when you only report what's convenient for one side of the establishment, you're trying to fool the American people into thinking that this is red versus blue, when really, look, it's obviously these elitists who do nefarious things, and we have to accept the fact that this country and perhaps this world is run by psychopaths who do disgusting things like this. Because if you go and look into Hollywood and all the pedophilia that's happened, Kevin Spacey's name was on those on that list. So this isn't something that we're making up.
Yeah.
This is something that every single American should be questioning now, not because of the dramatics that are happening, but more so because of the implications that it has, that two recent presidents in the United States of America have ties to this man who seems to have deep ties to the CIA, who seems to have nefarious business ties with other people that are probably worse than he is.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this is like red meat for the... You know who else has got their red meat is all these people, these conspiracy theorists, and all these people have been hiding down for independent media. I watched a film the other day, and this guy was almost like, he didn't know what to do. He's like, this is crazy because we've been underground, hiding stuff, grabbing stuff off the dark web, bringing it on over, looking at this stuff, just been in the shadows because nobody wanted to take this serious. And now the mainstream media is starting to pick up on this stuff. And as we start diving down these rabbit holes, here's The Guardian in 2002. It said Captain Bob and the Spooks. It says 12 years ago, on this month, Robert Maxwell plunged to his death off the yacht. In a new book,
former Mirror journalist Jeffrey Goodman says he now suspects Maxwell was murdered.
Everything starts to come out of this thing, and you start looking down this stuff, and you start seeing these things for what they are. And let me tell you something. When it comes to Donald Trump, you already had your bullshit scandal in Russia. You blew your load there. Nobody's going to believe you now when you try to make it about Trump versus, you know what I'm saying? You have a of an army out there, but as people start looking at these things, and that's the reason why I'm happy that Trump's tied to this, because Trump was the first person I looked at. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really went down there, but it was like, it's more than that. This is about this freaking, these elites. What does anything matter down below if above they're pulling all the strings and they control everything? This is time to crumble there. Pull the mask off the shit iceberg and expose these people for friggin' good. Johnny, you got anything to add?
Yeah, this is just the last thing on the topic of Epstein on the island. There's also these pictures here.
These tunnels.
They're pointing to tunnels or bunkers. No one knows what it is, but here's a closer look, and you can see over here the green. That's like an entranceway into the freaking. That could be a storage closet. I could see that. But over here, this is fucking weird. It won't. Yeah. What? That goes directly into the ground. So
like you said, there's
underground bunker.
There's like all these marks and shit.
The Pizzagate people are going fucking nuts with this shit.
They
are going, and you start thinking about, come on, what are they doing? And please stop with that theories. But I mean, is it enough that 14-year-old girls were used for sex, for molestation, and pawned off now for us to all bring some people to fucking heel?
Yeah.
Because the Clintons are the ones who are super predators, and they must be brought to heel. You know what I'm saying? It's disgusting. Can we read this super chat here? Because I get emotional when I think about this shit. I start thinking about my friends and all their kids.
It's both, though, Pasa. It's not just the Clintons. Because the conservative media is going to say it's the Clintons. The liberal media is going to say
I think it's above them.
It's Trump. It's both of them and above them.
I think it's above them.
It is. They're part of this little cabal, and that's plain and simple. It is both of them. It is both of them and much more.
It's everything.
Than that.
It's the elites and higher. It's the elites and higher. And once again, a lot of times they believe that these CIA assets get stuff they could use people for blackmail, mainly politicians and world leaders, so they can get them to do their bidding. And it makes so much sense. It's like, I got you on film having sex with a 13-year-old girl. You're going to do this. You're going to invade this country when you're the president. Otherwise, we're going to expose you. Gabriel Akari, a $50 super chat on the MCSC network. I can't wait when we get those over here couch so we can have steak with our beans.
Yeah, I think we're
rice.
about a month away.
We're waiting.
We're waiting. Yeah, we're just waiting. We're there. We're ready
waiting
to be monetized. We're just waiting. It says criminal justice reform. Yep. Keep up the good work. Regards from Sweden. Hey.
Hi, Sweden.
I need to go visit.
Yeah, I definitely want to go.
If you have some place for us to stay, we'd love to do that. Hashtag Bernie 2020. Hashtag Tulsi 2020. Hashtag Shahid versus Pelosi. I've been saying this from the get-go. We got to make sure that we pull it. And you know what? I'm going to get vocal with those people over there. And if they're going to have a candidate, they got to get one candidate coming out. They can't do this shit again in Nancy Pelosi's district where they get multiple candidates and she goes on without a sweat.
Unfortunately, that's democracy, and that's progressive.
Well,
progressives are running multiple candidates, and that's...
Now, they got to get... I mean, if it's not Shahid and you got somebody else, please stand up. Now, I know there's another young girl who's been on this show, whatnot. She didn't convince me to support her over Shahid. I don't think she's ready yet, but...
No.
That's just my personal opinion. She has every right to run, but I think it's going to come a point where it sees evident if we're serious about taking out Nancy Pelosi, and we got to be serious about taking out the old guard, because the old guard is the same as the new guard. You know what I'm saying? And the Democrats disappoint me because they don't talk about regime change wars leading up to immigration. And like I said, a lot of them, and you know what I'm saying, they've used this as an opportunity, this Epstein case, to just call out Trump and not call out both sides. It's like they're playing politics all the time. Old guard, same as the new guard, and they gots to go. Nancy, a.k.a., as Fee would say, Nance, you got to be out.
Yeah, hey, Nance. I just want to reiterate that we need to continue supporting progressives like Mike Gravel and Tulsi because they should be on that stage and they need to continue to stay in the race as long as possible. Contrary to what some Bernie supporters think, I think that we need them because the longer they stay, the more delegates they have. And right now, out of all of those progressive candidates, Bernie Sanders is the most popular one. So that could change. But right now, I'm saying this because Bernie Sanders is the most popular one. If we have someone like Tulsi stay in there for as long as possible, they could be a team. Same with Gravel. Same with Williamson. Williamson herself sent an email telling people to donate to Gravel because she wanted him to be on stage. And the DNC is still going to try to keep him off the stage.
Oh, yeah.
But that's why we have to continue donating to him. Not saying that you don't donate to your preferred candidate, whether it's Bernie or whether it's Tulsi, but you also donate to these other candidates, even if it's $1 or a couple dollars, get your families to do it, because that way they can be an alliance. And if we don't think like this, we are going to lose, because if anything of today's show can show you is that this is all one giant aisle of people that are entirely against the 99%. They're against us. They have nothing to do with us. They're over there doing their nefarious things with all this money. They don't even know what to do with it. They're tied up in pedophilia. They're tied up in corruption. They're tied up in so many things that they're willing to kill people or imprison people like Assange to keep this quiet. And if you don't realize that now, if you continue thinking and vote blue no matter who, or just Donald Trump because MAGA, you're not helping yourself on either end. It's wrong. We need to think for ourselves individually. These people don't care about you. They don't care. They just are going to continue filling their pockets whether you vote left or right. And so we have to stop thinking in that mindset and start thinking in the mindset of how do we organize against this establishment, because there's so many of us. And if we only could just agree on one thing, that is our common enemy, we could literally win.
That's the most important thing. That's the common enemy. Understanding who the common enemy is, not a person, it's a system. And we have to break the system. And that's what Fee is talking about.